one, especially when there's no Spotify support on it, which, as we learned, is not technically Apple's fault anymore because they took the PR route and like allowed Spotify to get on it, but Spotify is like boycotting them, so they're not going to do it. But I mean, we just saw a headline a couple days ago that Spotify had it has its most users of all time, and it's by far the most used music streaming service now. They have over 200 million users, I think. Yeah, I think it's gonna not do well for the same reason that it didn't do well in the first place.
Maybe not bad enough to discontinue this time, because Apple doesn't discontinue things very often. There are a lot of things that I think I look at Apple's lineup and I know that that's not selling very well.
Yeah,
but it still exists at full price in the lineup. Like AirPods Max might be an example where there's a good amount of them out there. I think people eventually bought a good amount of AirPods Max, but the current Intel Mac Pro, how many people are buying the current Intel Mac Pro? I hope it's not very many.
Yeah.
But they're still selling it. It's still on the site. They're still making them. It's not discontinued. So like when I saw the original HomePod was discontinued, it's like, wow, they really had to make a call here. They were like, we're not going to even make these anymore. So
yeah. I have another theory though. There was not a lot of HomeKit stuff out for like a very long time. And now that Matter is coming out and you're going to be able to use like any smart home device with HomeKit, it basically opens up Apple's home ecosystem like to a huge extent. So prior, it was like you were only really buying a HomePod if you wanted a smart speaker that was very limited to the Apple ecosystem that could only really use Apple Music. And that was very limiting.
Extremely.
But now that you can use it as like an actual smart home hub kind of situation, and it can be used with basically anything that you buy that's Matter enabled, I think that they're probably maybe projecting into the future a couple of years and just being like, if we want to compete, the number one, if people that have iPhones are going to like want to just be able to like use the Apple thing with their smart home hub. So,
yeah. I
mean, if you use Apple Music and then you can buy Matter enabled products, it kind of makes sense if you're willing to blow the money. But beyond that, I don't really see a huge...
Every single word that you said is true. But it's also true about the Mini.
Yeah.
Yes, which is way cheaper.
I do think some people are willing to spend the extra money for like the main room. Like I would be willing, like I have a regular, the old Google Home that was $120 in my living room versus the Minis, which I can like hide